Well, hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Joel and this is A Stable Life. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. It is great to have you guys here with us. You are joining us on a cold and rainy Thursday. We do not have the horses being kept in right now. They are all blanketed. Today is November 28th. And today is also the last of our warm-ish weather. We are fully expecting a major cold front to come through, and that cold front should actually bring below freezing temperatures as the highs for the day, meaning the ground should freeze coming up, which is actually a good thing for our hay barn construction. Doesn't mean that we have to deal with any mud, and it does mean that we have a very small mud season for our horses. At least that's what's forecast. We all know that what's forecast and what actually ends up happening tends to be two different things. We're gonna be getting started on getting the horses in for today, and we're gonna let them chill inside the barn for a little while between morning and afternoon feedings. We're also gonna be keeping our eyes peeled to make sure that there are no horses shivering. If there are, we gotta check what's going on, if their blanket has a leak, whatever the case may be. They all have their, I believe it is their sheets on right now, which keeps them dry. But it is just honestly disgusting outside. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that we're getting rain, but there's really not much growing anymore. The wheat has germinated, so there's really not much of a need for rainfall. That being said, beggars can't be choosers, and I will take a slow, steady rain over a downpour any day of the week. Let's get started measuring out. Now we do adjust the grain for the horses typically as we are in fall going into winter. So just because the boards say this about what they're getting right now, that doesn't mean that is exactly what they're always getting. What I mean is the amounts. I don't mean the specific type of the grain. We always check with the clients first before switching the grain to a different type. Some horses will start porking up a little bit, so we'll dial that back to make sure they don't get overweight. Other horses, typically our thoroughbreds, tend to get a little skinny, so we have to dial things up a little bit in order to keep weight on them. And that information is passed on directly to the individual who's putting hay out. That way we know, okay, we need to kind of use a little bit more of maybe good, possibly prime hay to bulk up what the grain is lacking, because you don't want the horses to be on a strictly grain diet. It is not good for them. So you want to make sure there's a high source of fiber in their diet, and hay or forage materials is the best way to make sure that they have a healthy digestive system. I also always think it's funny that some of our biggest horses tend to get the least amount of food because they got no problem keeping weight on. We call them easy keepers. It's a term used in the horse world quite often, and I've heard it misapplied quite often. You'll typically hear it when there's someone selling you a horse. Yeah, they're an easy keeper, no problem at all. You get them home and find out they go through a bag of feed in a day. It's supposed to rain for the majority of the day, stopping around noon. So I'm thinking that'll be when we turn out. Time will tell though. We actually broke out the muck boots today. It's officially slop season, moving into winter. Coco! Coco! Good morning, Coco. Come on, buddy. Come on, Coco. Yeah. Good morning. Come on, boys. Let's go. It's time to eat. Everyone's asleep because of the rain. Good morning, brother. Sorry, honey. I'm so sorry. One second. That's 1:25 to go. Yeah, come on. Oh, you're pushing me over. I gotta go that way. There comes the herd. Here you go, princess. Donkey's next. 2 down, 24 to go. All right, Buster, Rocky. Maybe wondering, donkeys have a nice, good, thick, strong coat. They also have unlimited access to shelter. That's why they don't have sheets on. Now it's time for the middle field horses. Whew, there is a chill in the air. Hi, Diego. Hey there, Bella. So not everyone is flying in, everyone's just walking in slowly. That tells me no one's cold. That tells me no one is wet. Blankets are wet, horses are not. That's the key. Got a few more coming in here. Hey there, George. And then went Ava. Okay. Well, hey there, Spitfire. Suede and Danny. There goes Poe and Sriracha. There's Weather. Oh, that went Poe. That was Danny. My bad. Hey, Declan, Gavin, Archer, Tucker, Obi, ooh, Argento. Didn't expect you to be in so soon. Ooh, they all came in quick. It's really gonna be nice once we have in the big field that barn working as a shelter. Because these horses, their only real shelter is right outside the barn in here. Of course, they get shade from trees and things like that, so it's not a problem from spring all the way through fall. But in the winter, the main source of shelter that the horses have is inside the barn for the big field. So it'll be nice once that's in that the horses will have a huge wind blocker as well as a huge source of shelter down in the big field. Very excited about that. Huge improvement for our stable. All right, well, I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that it's raining right now and that it's been raining for a little while. We are going to head down to our hay barn and I want to see how things look with water. I think I'm kind of excited. So because we're actually going to be like out in the rain, I'm going to put on my actual rain jacket instead of a hoodie. This jacket is more designed to be used by itself, but there's a bit of a cold chill in the air and I have a feeling that I would be too cold, too cold if I just wore just the rain jacket. I don't have the heavy hides and coats that the horses do. There we go. Rain jackets are cool. Things at the top of the stable are draining correctly. And it looks like from this rain event, we have received 6/10 of an inch so far. Well, that is exciting to see. The pond actually has water flowing down into the next pond. That hasn't happened in about 2 months, a little over 2 months, actually almost 3 months. That's exciting. That lower pond's actually getting some water flow. That's good. Look at this. So this is where the water comes down here, and it's actually following Dale's tracks. So it's not going into the pond. Water is actually flowing down right to here, to the tributary where it's supposed to go. Great. Let's go take a look at our hay barn. Look at this. Water coming out of the trench. You know how happy that makes me? And there's water in the pipes. So the water is coming out of the pipes. I still have to get these pipes straight and then put backfill on top of them. I haven't done the very ends yet. Let's go take a look at the other side. I'm gonna leave that run because we all know how this gets temperamental when it gets wet. So we're not turning that off. We're gonna leave that on. The rain has slowed down quite a bit. Coming over here, a little drier here. It doesn't look like we have as much flow coming out of this one. It doesn't even look like we have water running down here. Oh, okay. We have a little. Yeah, tiny little trickle running into the ground right here. You can see it flowing right down into the rocks. So that's probably why, yeah, we have more water running this way. And it's running right to here, going down and into the ground. And same here, to here, down into the ground. The only reason you see water here is because it's pushing dirt on top of the rock. See that? See that thick clay dirt? That's why we put that silt shield down. That is good. Now here we have a flow of water from this puddle coming down into the trench. So even the water that's in the barn is draining out of the barn. So where's this coming from? Just to make sure this isn't coming from outside of the barn. Follow the flow to here. We've got a flow coming in this way, nothing coming that way. So these puddles that are forming on the outside of the barn are draining. Yeah, might need to change that a little bit. But yeah, it's from this puddle here and this puddle here, which this is the lowest point. So the water that's landing on the ground here is just flowing to this little puddle and actually out of the barn. And the only reason this is here is because, as I mentioned, the soil here is very full of clay. See that? Not drainage material at all. I would like to take this opportunity to actually discuss a little bit about what's going to be happening with our hay barn here. So the next things that are going to be going on is we are going to be putting in the header that's going to be going across over here, that is going to be connecting our walls together, and is going to be the foundation for the giant garage door that is going to be getting put in there. So that is going to be a little different. Instead of it being fastened onto the sides of the 4x6s, it is going to be put directly on top of the posts there to provide an extra level of support. I'm also going to be going through with 2x6s, and this is actually something that we have learned from other barn builders. We're going to be taking 2x6s and cutting them down to smaller sizes, and we will be putting them underneath all of the sections where the top plate connects to the board as an extra layer of support to hold the roof on. So that is exciting there, working on the sides. So that's the next thing that we're going to be working on with that. And then once the headers are on, our supports are up, we're going to be putting up cross bracing. So cross bracing, you can imagine giant X's that is going to be going across on the sides, from one side going down, on the other side coming down. And what that does is it holds the barn together. It is a permanent bracing, and it is going to make things a lot more structurally stable while we are putting the roof on. So those are the things that we are going to be doing next in regards to the barn build. I am getting wet, so I am going to go back up to the stable, but I am pleased with what I am seeing down here. We are not seeing any water running in the barn. All water is running out and away. Once the roofing system is put on and our gutter system is installed, I have no worries at all. That is a good feeling, guys. That is a very good feeling. It's nice seeing the water actually all running into that, and it's running through our trench underground and out. That's awesome. That's just absolutely awesome. Good news is, looking at our Doppler radar, it does look like the rain is going to be stopping for now. With that, all the horses, they know it. They're all ready to get out. All waiting at the doors. They don't want to be in the barn anymore. They've had a few days where they were stuck in the barn, and they don't want to be stuck in the barn anymore. So we're going to get these beautiful animals out in their respective pastures. And then I think we're going to go down and we're going to take count of our lumber that we have sitting down there for our hay barn, and just kind of take stock of what we have left, and if there's any boards that we're missing or anything that we need to get started with the next phase of construction. Because as the ground freezes, that enables a new opportunity for us to get down there and start working and getting ready for our roof. Exciting times. You guys can see the new water system that was put in. It really lets a lot of water out really quickly. It fills up our 300-gallon water trough in half the time now. It only takes half an hour, whereas it used to be an hour. So that's exciting. She's so fuzzy and cute, aren't you, honey? All right, just need you to stay put. There you go. You have a great day, honey. Starts itching her head immediately. It's always good and important to keep an accurate count of the available lumber that you have left, so you know if you're right on target or if maybe you're using more than you initially expected. So now with our new count, I forward that on over to everybody, and we can evaluate what we'll need for moving forward for the cross bracing, for our headers, and for our trusses. I have a feeling we are a little light on lumber. We're gonna need to get a little bit more, which is fine. That won't be a problem at all. And then we can get started on putting in the cross bracing. That'll probably be the next big job. So with that, the rain has stopped. The horses are out eating. So I think I am going to go home to my wife, and we're gonna enjoy some lunch together. And then I'll be on over for afternoon feeding. Sounds good to me? All right, I'll see you guys in a few hours. Well, hello and welcome back, guys. It's good to see you guys. We're back at the stable. I have done a little bit of a wardrobe change. We do have our heated jacket on underneath, and I have the big hoodie on over top of that. I actually, as you saw, even have it on. I'm gonna have it on low just because there is a bite in the air right now. And you know what I'm talking about. If you've ever experienced cold weather with high moisture, usually there's maybe snow on its way, or in this case, we just have rain that just passed. My goodness, it is a bone dampening cold. So we're gonna keep our eyes on the horses, make sure that they are all good for afternoon feeding, but I don't expect us to have any problems. I think they're gonna be all right. Let's get them in and let's get them looked at. Now, just in case you guys are curious, there are other things that happen at the stable that I don't film just because it's not taken care of by me on the days that I'm feeding. An example is this right here. Every other Friday, all of these horses are getting tick oil to prevent us from having a tick issue with our horses. Because yes, if they weren't medicated, this right here is for pulling ticks off of horses. That is the whole point of these tweezers. Because you have to get in right at the head, pull the head out. Otherwise, the head will stay buried inside the horse and create an infection. We would rather the ticks die and not be able to even bite the horses, so we don't have a Lyme's disease issue, which is why we have all of the horses medicated there. We also have all of these boards set to notify everybody here that is feeding horses and taking care of horses if there's an issue. For example, Diego currently limping on his back right, and we're giving him some phenylbutazone to help with pain and swelling. And that, of course, is there for transparency with the clients as well, so they know what's happening with their horses. We even have down here, see, thrush watch list. These are 4 horses that are susceptible to thrush. So we have a close eye, making sure that they're all good, picking out their hooves, making sure we have no issues there. So there's lots going on that's behind the scenes. Just remember, just because you don't see it filmed doesn't mean it's not happening. It's a good thing to keep in mind. All the horses are now cared for. The day is done. They're all out in the pastures, enjoying their days, being a horse. And I'm all done taking care of them for the day. So I'd like to thank all of you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed, I'd like to remind you to hit the like button, and of course, consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. 9 more in the barn. That leaves us 16 to go. 15 to go. Math. 26 minus 2 is 24. That's where I went wrong. I was doing 25. Oh, I can't believe I did that. And as always, I will see you in the next one. I'll do that a little differently. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, that felt better.